Hello and welcome today in Woburn. I'm your host, Samantha Stone, and we are coming fresh off of a fabulous Halloween parade weekend. It's always one of my favorite times of the year. It's such a good time to see everybody out there having fun and celebrating together, what is a fun tradition. Mike, this year, I know that you were riding in the parade, not marching, doing collections as I've seen you do in the past. What was that like?
We got to ride in an open air convertible. Him and I went down the route. I lost my voice a little bit from doing all the yelling and shouting and waving. It was a lot of fun. It has been about 20 years since I last rode in the parade when I was the president of the Woburn Host Lions Club. And every other year since, I've been walking the route with a blanket, collecting donations for eye research and site conservation. So it was a nice change to be uh, in the car along the route, having a lot of fun. And I can tell you that it was if it wasn't a record, it was close to record breaking in terms of the attendees along the route as well as the funds raised. So by every indication, it was a successful Halloween parade, and I know everybody had a lot of fun participating and watching. So another one in the books.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day too. It was sunny and cool, but comfortable. And
Yep.
everybody around me looked like they were having a really good time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I always think of it as like sort of the unofficial kickoff to Halloween in general. So we've got
Yep.
Halloween coming up this week and we have some fun planned for City Hall.
Yeah, we're going to do a little trick or treating here in City Hall. Thursdays, as people know, we're open late here. We're open till 7 to accommodate the needs of the community in their schedules. So since we're here, we figured we'd take advantage of the time and host a little bit of trick or treating. And I know you've been working hard to organize it. You've got a lot of departments assisting. So hopefully we get a lot of kids coming in and make this their first stop maybe on their way out to do the streets of Woburn. So I think we're doing 4:30 to 5:30 here at City
Yes,
Hall.
that's correct. Yeah, we figured it'll be a good thing. Sometimes when the kids get home, they're eager to go out. It's not quite time, so maybe this will be a good way to get them out and have some fun
Yeah.
in a safe environment. And we have a little treat planned in council chambers. We've started just today getting it a little simple haunted house ready. So
Yeah.
an extra little bonus for those who might want to do that as well.
Yeah. Should be fun.
It would be great. And we've got some very excited City Hall employees who really like Halloween, who are really getting into the spirit of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. It's really nice. And like I said, maybe on their way out, folks can make this their first stop and then, and then hit the streets and collect as much candy as the kids can.
That's right. And then crash and sleep well, hopefully, for all the parents.
Yeah. And then the parents can do all the sorting of the candy bags and
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
out their favorites.
That's right. That's what sorting's really
Yeah.
about. I love it. But unfortunately, it's not all Halloween. We are getting a little bit of business done around here too. And one of the things that we have done is we've completed the purchase of what will be City Hall Annex building right next to us. And I
Yeah.
know there's been a lot of people who are excited about that and curious how we're going to use the space. And we do have some intended purposes, but the details of how we'll roll that out and how all the layout will be in progress. I thought it might be helpful to just sort of talk a little bit about what that building committee is going to look like and when we might anticipate using the space.
Yeah. So we just completed the purchase this past week, wrote the check and got the keys. We've already begun a building use committee. We had our first meeting last week and took a tour of the building. Many of us had been in it a few times, but some hadn't. This isn't going to be a long and protracted exercise. We have an idea of what would you like to use the building for. City Hall, as many can attest, is somewhat crowded. Our city is growing, and the needs are growing as well. And we definitely need the space here, office space and storage space. So that was the main impetus for purchasing the building. We have a general idea which departments we think should move into the new space. So it's really up to this building use committee to nail that down and then to determine exactly what accommodations and needs those particular departments would need to operate effectively over there. Right out of the gate, we did a bit of a sprucing up over the weekend. Thanks to the DPW, they cleaned up the area, make it a little more presentable on the outside. Next, we'll be changing signage and getting to work pretty quickly on the accommodations that need to be made for ADA compliance. We'll have ramps accessing the building. And we also have to do some restroom facility upgrades to make it more accommodating. So those things will happen fairly quickly. And as I said, this building use committee will be determining exactly which departments will go in the building, how they'll be set up, and how best to facilitate a smooth transition from one building to the next. It's my hope that we should be able to have most, if not all, of this done by mid to late spring and have the building available for use and visits from the public by then.
Excellent. Thank you for that update. Um, I couldn't help but smile as we were, as our city solicitor, Mark Sovati, came in and handed the keys to you. It was kind of like if you've ever bought a house or, made a big purchase, maybe a car or something like that, and the keys get turned over to you. It's that little moment of excitement. It was kind of fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, it is. It's like we said, it's a once in a generation opportunity to buy the building right next door to
Yeah.
City Hall. And I appreciate the support of the city council to see the value and to go forward with the purchase. And I think the public's going to be pleased. I know the departments here in City Hall will have a little more elbow room and be able to better serve the public. And I expect that the public will experience a better environment as well. So we're really looking forward to getting into that building and using it to the max.
One of the things that we announced at the very end of last week is that we were fortunate to receive $215,000 in grant funding that will be used for some important planning things. I thought it would be a good opportunity to just talk a little bit about what those are.
Yeah, so we got two state grants in the last 2 weeks. Interestingly, the two grants are tied to our city's compliance with the MBTA Communities Act, specific provisions in the grants. And as we told folks a week or two ago, City Council did vote to approve our zone, our MBTA compliance zone and map. We're in the process of officially notifying the state of that. There's some work that has to be done to make sure the map reads correctly and the language is submitted per the MBTA guidelines. That's happening as we speak. As soon as that happens, they basically release the funds for these grants. There's two of them. They total about $215,000. One is for a traffic analysis or improvement plan for the North Woburn, New Boston Street area. It's an opportunity to look a little deeper at that section of the city and the needs. So that'll be the first one. And then the second one has to do with downtown improvements. I want to thank the planning department, John Cashell, Karen Smith, Casey Haggerty, and our new grant writer, Kevin McDonough, for working hard to secure those funds. And always we get support from our state reps, Rich Haggerty, Michelle Socolo, and our state senators, Cindy Friedman. So we appreciate all their efforts to push along our grant applications. And again, thanks to the state, that's $215,000 more coming into the city of Woburn to help us with two pretty significant needs. So we're really excited to get that process underway.
Excellent. The Woburn marching band through the high school is in their competition season, and they are having an excellent season. I continue to see them place and do things. And I understand you were at the last competition. What was it like watching them?
Yeah, Amory and I went Saturday over to the Northeast Voc for their competition. It was great. I love what the band does. Little known fact: back in ninth grade, I was in the Woburn High marching band as a drummer for one season. I enjoyed it, and it was fun to go back and revisit those memories, watching the band in action. A little more sophisticated than back when I was playing, and certainly the drummers are a little better than I was. But yeah, we were proud to say that Woburn Memorial High School marching band came in first place in their division.
Awesome.
They get a trophy. They also won best musical overall, musical ability. And as I understand it, they're on to the States now. I'm not sure the date of the next event, but I would encourage people to check it out. We're really proud of the kids and how hard they work, honing their craft. And if you ever go to a high school football game, you get to watch them during halftime. But this was even better. This was a little more time. They get a little more detailed. Their program is really interesting and entertaining. So I would definitely encourage people to check them out at their next event.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun.
And
And
I think that the screaming and yelling Saturday in support of the band, coupled with the screaming and yelling at the parade yesterday, it might take me 3 or 4 days to get my voice back, but it was worth it.
you were going to make you lots of tea with lemon and honey and
Yeah, I got a
get you
little tickle in
lozenges.
my throat. Yep.
Last thing I wanted to talk about was this Sunday we have a really fun senior dinner coming up, and we're excited to host that.
Yeah, we have the annual Senior Citizen Appreciation Dinner. It'll be Sunday the 3rd at 11 o'clock at the high school. We're really excited to be back inside. As everyone knows, when COVID hit, it forced a lot of things to change. And one of them was converting the senior dinner to a grab and go event in the City Hall parking lot, which worked very well. And people were flexible and we all made it work working together. But it is nice to be back inside for a sit down dinner. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a great committee working on it. We have a lot of volunteers within the city. The Elks are stepping up to cook all the food. It's going to be a really good time. We've got some entertainment. We've got raffles and a nice gift on the way out for all those who attend. So I think it's going to be nice to be back inside, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited. We definitely did not, I don't think, plan this, but it happens to be the day of the time change. So it's really nice to have a lovely
Yeah.
meal served and you don't have to worry about adjusting to the clock beforehand.
Yeah. Good point, though, to make sure your clocks are adjusted so you get there on time Sunday
Yeah.
morning. I'm sure people will start to line up pretty early,
Yeah.
but it officially starts at 11. And I think people will really have a good time. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. That's the first one I'll have a chance to attend, so I'm excited to be there and help out wherever I can lend a hand.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. It's a really exciting time watching all the seniors enjoy the dinner and the entertainment. It's really a fun event. One of the highlights of the year.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us as always. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, I'm excited to welcome our Veteran Services Officer, Bob Davis. Welcome.
Hey, Samantha, how are you?
I'm good. And we have an important day coming up. Veterans Day is just around the corner, not too long from now. And we always love to and find it important to honor that day. And I know
Sure.
you've got lots planned. Before I have you sort of talk us through that, I thought it might be helpful. Sometimes I think people unintentionally mix up Veterans Day and Memorial Day and don't always know exactly the distinctions between the various holidays, but want to honor those who serve. And so
Sure.
just remind us the goal and focus of Veterans Day.
Sure, absolutely. So Veterans Day started out as Armistice Day back in 1919. We had some little couple things happen, 54, 68, 54. In 1954, President Eisenhower signed it in. Armistice Day, obviously, 11, the 11th month, the 11th year, the
Right.
11th hour. So that was the end of World War One. Unfortunately, that was going to be the war to end all wars. As we all know, that wasn't quite the
No.
case. We had, World War II followed that by Korea, by Vietnam, by Iraq, by OEF, OIF. We just ended our longest campaign in Afghanistan after 13 years. So the big difference between the two Veterans Day, Memorial Day. Veterans Day is for all that have served, right? So in 1954, President Eisenhower puts that out. We're going to make it that all veterans that served, everyone on 11/11/11. Memorial Day is for those that are no longer with us. Those that were killed in action, suffered wounds in battle, and came home and perished. And that's what Memorial Day is all about for those that are no longer with us. Veterans Day is to celebrate, appreciate all of our veterans that are still with us.
Yeah, it's always a special day. I'm so glad I always gives me an opportunity to think about my grandparents and my father who served, my husband, and just in general, really appreciate all the people around us who have served our country in really important ways. And I know we have some great things planned. Tell us a little bit about what we'll be
Sure.
doing on Veterans Day itself.
Absolutely. On Veterans Day itself, so we'll form up, and the mayor and I spoke about this earlier today, and the UBC Council, we met last week, so we put our final preparations together. We'll have all of our invites out. So we're planning to muster 10:15 in the south end. So we're going to switch it around this year. The construction in the south end, Main Street, Cross Street is all taken care of. So we're going to go ahead and start in the south end this year. Muster about 10:15. Forward to the common right around 10:30, with the goal of obviously being on the common 11:11. Well, so we're planning to start the ceremony itself at 11 o'clock. Prior to that, so this whole week, if we call it, going into that, obviously we have some school activities, some stuff going on, but we also around the city have some events happening. So we just had an event. October was a little earlier than Veterans Day, but we try to kick it off each year. It's called the iPods for Wounded Veterans. We had that event a couple Saturdays ago. We had about 70 veterans in there, ranging with Korean War vets all the way up to today's OEF, OAF veterans. Great event, great time. So on 11/7, so Thursday the 7th, we will have an event here at the Senior Center. Wonderful, very generous. One of our city council members sponsoring the event. Should be a great event. We're going to kick it off at 11 here with the ceremony itself up at the Senior Center. Again on 11/7, November 7th, 11 o'clock. We're going to have it catered by the Capitol Grill. So the
Yum.
signups, the registrations are on their way. Should be an amazing event. There should be no shortage of signups with that catering. So I am looking forward to that, obviously. Then we have on 11/10, so November 10th, early in the morning, 8 to 10, 4 Federal Street at the Moose. All veterans will eat for free at the Moose. So they'll put out a nice breakfast on the Marine Corps birthday. So then on the 10th at 4:30 in the afternoon, we're going to head on down to the Irish American Club. So this will be the 249th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. So we'll have a great time there. We'll have the oldest Marine from Woburn, the youngest Marine from Woburn. We'll do a nice cake cutting ceremony. The mayor always does a wonderful job with the proclamation for the birthday. So I'm looking forward to that. Then obviously on 11/11, we have that. And I'm sure I'm missing an event or two.
I know we have on the 14th, we're going to be doing together a great
Absolutely.
discussion as well.
So on the 14th, we have that down, and that will go out with the week's events as well. So the Sharing Our Stories event, really looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that we have a great mix of age groups at the cafe, and just to tell our stories, our appreciation for the community, and just to get to know some folks better. But yeah, truly excited about it. I'm excited about what the office is doing right now. You know, we look around, you think about Veterans Day, the end of World War I, we had 16 million veterans at the end of World War II. 16 million. Of them, there's 1% left. It's less than, a little over
Wow.
66,000 of them left. And if you look at the whole United States, we have roughly 18.25 million. And if you think of that, that's encompassing everything from World War II on. Just after World War II, there was 16 million. It's truly
No, it's a
incredible.
really important day for us, and I'm grateful for all the work you're doing to work with our community partners to make this happen. Thank you. It is a lot of work, and
Absolutely.
it's important work we want to do to honor everyone who's in our community, and we hope they have a special day, and they have lots of ways to come celebrate and eat very well. That's something that, in addition
Absolutely.
to the ceremonies, they get a chance to do that. One
Absolutely.
last thing I wanted to ask you, Bob, is
Sure.
people often ask, in addition to attending the public events to be there and be supportive, what other things might our community do to honor veterans in this week that's coming up soon?
Sure. I think, we I've said this a couple times and, just talking to people, 2 words, 8 letters, right? Thank you. A simple thank you, showing kindness. And that's not just to veterans. That's to the
Mm-hmm.
community as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Just being a kind of person, saying thank you, looking for veterans charities, veteran events that are maybe a little outside the norm that folks don't know about. Equine assistance, equine therapy for veterans, 22 a day push-ups. There's so many things that folks can step outside of their box than the simple thank you. Or another big one is showing up, just showing up to the events. I know the mayor mentioned it last year. It just matters, showing up. So I think that's really my ask around the veterans.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Oh,
Woburn.
please.
As always, this is a very wonderful way that we can continue to take good care of each other, and we hope to see many of you there.